Hi there, YouTubers and weavers. I'm going to interrupt the project I'm working on right now, which is that sort of greenish L-shaped or V-shaped shawl, to answer a question that was asked one or two videos ago about the loom that I'm using, the Louet Spring. And the question was, why did Louet call it a spring? The answer is because there's a couple of big springs on here. But to answer that, I've got to move the camera and hold it by hand for a little bit to show you. And I don't know if I'll finish this current video, the one I'm doing right this minute, now or after I post the rest of this L or V-shaped shawl when there's nothing on the loom. But I want to work on it first right now when there is something on the loom, so I can show you how the spring action works on this loom while there's cloth on the loom. So I'm going to take the camera off the tripod and we're going to get down on the floor behind the loom and get a little bit better look at the inside of the frame of the loom. Okay, I'm at the back of the loom and you can see my green cloth on there. I've moved the roll of paper up out of the way. If we look over here, I'm using a ruler as a pointer. You can see there's a spring. It's attached to a little eye that's up there, that's screwed in, and it comes down to there where there's a piece of Texel. And right now that spring is under tension. There's another spring on this side. Again, it's attached to an eye. It's a long spring. It comes down to here where it's attached to a piece of Texel. It reminds me somewhat of the type of springs that you used to see on screen doors. You don't see them too much anymore. Now they've got hydraulic plungers on them, but that's what you used to see on a screen door. So let's go down under the loom. There's that piece of Texel again. Let me move some other stuff out of the way. Can you see I'm grabbing it here? And that piece of, I think I'm too close. That piece of Texel attached to the spring goes down through another eye right here and around a pulley simply for a change of directions and goes to the front of the loom. And that happens on both sides. Here's the Texel again, through an eye, around a pulley, and toward the front of the loom. So now let's go to the front of the loom and see what happens there. So here's that piece of Texel cord again. It's coming back this way, and it connects to the bottom of this wooden beam that comes straight down from the breast beam. You'll notice this thing is not attached to the frame of the loom down here. I can take something and put it in between there. Let me grab a stick shuttle. You can see I can go right through there. Now there's a second piece of cord so this thing doesn't get totally loose, but effectively I can go right through there. So the only thing attaching here is that cord that's under tension from being on the spring, and let's move upwards. That is attached to where the breast beam sits on there. We come along here, and the cloth itself is putting tension on it. Because I have tension on the cloth, it is pulling the warp and the cloth back toward the loom. That way. Okay. And the warp is pulling it that way. The spring is trying to pull it back this way. And what's happening, let's see if I can manage to hold this. Let's say I push on a foot pedal. When I push on a foot pedal, watch the movement at the bottom of this bar. It's very slight, but there is movement there. And what that does, I don't know if I can get back far enough to show this, but it changes the tension and it moves this breast beam forward or backward by maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. So that the tension on this doesn't change whether you're pushing a treadle down or they're all in the neutral position. On a jack loom, when you push on a treadle, you would get more tension on the top layers that are raised than you would on the bottom threads that are not raised. On the Louet Spring, it's a counter march loom, threads go both up and down, or shafts go both up and down. Watch my first shaft. See the shaft behind, the first one went up, the one behind it went down. Let's do that again. You can see some go up, some go down. And you can see the ones in back didn't move at all. And as that happened, the tension here, those springs effectively kept the tension on the warp unchanged because of the movement of that Texolve cord and the spring. I hope that explains to you what's going on. I'm going to put the camera back on the tripod and see if you can see it from a different angle. Okay, watch right here, this chunk of wood, that's the breast beam. I'm just going to push on treadles while this is under tension. You can see that this bar is going straight up and down. So watch as I just put some tension on it. I don't know if it moves. Looking at the camera from here, I can't see if it's moving or not. But I guarantee you it is. But it's probably somewhere around a 32nd of an inch. Let's just add one more bit of tension there. I guarantee you I can see it from my angle, but it is very minute, just enough. The other thing that's neat about this is because I always want the same tension on my warp, if I look when let's do this. When I pull this lever to tighten up the wind-up beam in the front, the cloth beam, when I pull that, I can always adjust it so that this leg here goes to the same position, almost exactly vertical, and then I know I've got the same tension each time. That's another neat feature about this loom. So if I want to tighten it, I don't know if you could see this move, but now I'm going to loosen the tension. Let go of the brake a little bit. Can you see that move? So now when I tighten, watch how this bar moves. As I put tension on, now I'm back to the position of this leg being vertical, and I know I've got the exact same tension I had before. That's the advantage that the Louet Spring loom has, and it's because of those two springs at the back and the fact that the breast beam here is connected to this rod which pivots right here where my fingers are. I hope that answers the question for the lady that asked it. And I think I will end this video right now. So let's aim you up at me. My usual ending, if you're already a subscriber, thanks a million. If you're not a subscriber but like my videos, hit the subscribe button. If you want to hit that little ding-dong bell button, great. But in any case, thanks a million for watching my video. Until the next time around on YouTube, bye-bye.